I will explain about my material. This book has been written primarily for students studying business economics as part of a professional degree, diploma, or course in business study. Its main purpose is to illustrate how the ideas and perspective of economics can help us to understand the world in which we live, and especially to describe and analyze pleasure of the fundamental process of production and consumption that are essential to our daily life. The title of the book has been chosen deliberately to emphasize for belief that a mix of theory and practice provides a much more complete understanding of the business world than one that is either simply abstract and theoretical or an overly descriptive alternative. The book now consists of 526 pages and is divided into 5 chapters. Chapter 1 discusses the film in its environment, which consists of part 1 and part 2. Chapter 2 discusses demand and supply, which consists of part 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chapter 3 discusses market and price, which consists of part 7, 8, 9, and 10. Chapter 4 discusses government, firm, and market. And the last chapter 5 discusses analysis for business decision making, which consists of part 50 and 60. There are several box key concepts to provide future insight into some of the key ideas highlighted in the text.
The chapter 9 discusses about pricing in theory and practice. Therefore, price is very important for companies as a determinant of supply and demand. The purpose of the chapter is to investigate the basis of pricing and outline the different pricing strategies that other businesses may use. The cost will be in terms of unsold stock and inherent cash flow problems, because production costs are unlikely to be covered by sales revenue. High price can also result in a loss of market share and consumer loyalty, which may not be regained if prices are later lowered. Unmet demand also represents a loss of potential sales revenue and cause unhappy retailers, who bear the brunt of customer dissatisfaction. Price taker and price maker. The result is an oversupply, for the combined may generate more demand than anticipated, but this can ultimately be achieved by increasing production to match higher than expected demand, or by selling excess supply at a discount. Firms are price makers as opposite to price takers. However, we can imagine a situation where a price may be set knowing that this will result in excessive demand and the customer decides to buy the good at the set price block. Then perhaps estimate the chance in total revenue for selling that.
Okay, this forms the basis for incremental pricing. This means that instead of pricing based on a strict marginal rule, we make more sense in dealing with larger change in costs and revenues. The basis for the marginal approach is still intact. The profit maximizing form is now producing to the point where the additional change in total cost equals the additional change in total revenue. Competitive market share will affect the price. As indicated in chapter 7, we have traditionally identified four market structure. And one, this is perfect competition. Two, this is monopolistic competition. Three, oligopoly, and four is monopoly. As for the alternative pricing strategy, describes pricing strategies in the context of traditional profit maximizing models, and shows how different managerial objective can impact pricing. In the chapter 10, discussing international markets. So international markets are important to most companies, even if they do not produce for the export market. They will probably dependent on import raw materials, and they will almost certainly be affected by exchange rate movement. The UK, like all other developed industrialized countries, is highly dependent on international markets, and that dependence has grown over the years. Okay, next, what makes international trade different from trading within a country? Within country is that the former requires an international payment system. It is very important for business to have an understanding of international markets, exchange rates, and balance of payments. In this chapter, we begin with a standard theoretical view of international trade and why trade occurs, before concentrating on practical issues such as exchange rates, their effect on the business and operation of multinational corporation. The chapter concludes with a discussion of the process of globalization, international trade restriction. There are several things of the government does to limit international trade. The balance of payments is a record of one country's international trade with other countries over a certain period of time, usually one year. It records the flow of money rather than goods, so imports will be recorded as negative quantities because money flows out of the country to pay for goods, and exports are recorded as positive amounts. Thank you.
Money flow into and out of country of two basic reasons. First, the exchange of goods and service current transaction, and second for investment purpose and capital transaction. In the UK, for example, these two flow and recorded specially in the balance of payment made by the government. The history of balance of payment in the UK control tendering performance may change from time to time. Its balance payment figure can help give indication of first strength and weakness and economy late, and which may eventually require government action. In the chapter 11 discuss about, as we have seen, the essence of business activity is to produce goods and service to satisfy the needs and want of consumer. The prefer and section of the books and focus and hope in economy. From its supplier interact with the individualization of the social demands where the buy the input and sell output. The level of analysis assessing the policy dimension of environmental of business, the chapter of focus and for specialized policy area. Using Ukai expression to illustration the form of investigation can be undertaken. This prevention policy, compensation policy, specialist policy, and small company policy.
As the previous chapter pointed out, large companies can often achieve economies of scale that can benefit consumers in the form of price reduction. At the same time, economies of scale are important barriers to entry that can limit competition in the market, thereby helping to reduce consumer choice and in some cases allowing firms to make abnormal profits. For proponents of the notion of contestable markets, barriers to entry are not the market structure that are key to consumer exploitation, and this provides a rationale for government intervention to promote greater competition. In the latest phase of its evolution, the government has extended to align competition policy with a law, be it general macroeconomic policy as outlined below, or policy and laws targeted at specific sector. Democratically elected government regularly consult, negotiate, bargain, and sometimes compromise with business and their representative organization before making decision, and ensure there is negotiate individuals and group bargain with each other and with the government on the form of environmental regulation that the government may wish to implement. Conclusion: as this chapter has shown, in a market-based economy, government can exert considerable influence over companies, sector, and market. The combination of forces operating at different spatial levels can help shape government policy, and this